Hi guys, welcome back to Two Moms, Too Much Coffee. This is Jhshell, and we have,
Hey, it's Tempest.
and also,
Oh, and Sequoia's here, but she'll be taking a nap right in the middle of this and she'll disappear because I'll edit her out.
the way she's literally looking, she's like, I'm here too. I want to talk advice. I want to talk all the things. She's
Yeah. Oh, giggle yawn. Love it. Okay. So,
she's like, yep, that's gonna be right in the middle. Well, speaking of Sequoia, you've had like a good week, a good time frame with her. How's it been going?
yeah, she is just developing her little heart out. It makes me so happy. She's been laughing, which is like my number one favorite thing. Obviously, I don't
Yeah.
know what parent wouldn't love to hear their kid laugh, but she's been laughing and she thinks I'm funny, which makes me happy because I personally think I'm hilarious, but Abel has different ideas about my hilarity. It's fine.
Did you used to think you were funny though?
No, no, Deuce never thought
Oh.
I was funny. Oh man, I was playing with him the other day and he's like, "Mom, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing with you." And he's like, "Oh." Like like dude, I'm here all the time.
He was like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, not
That's
nearly as fun
funny.
as his dad, I guess.
I mean, he has an unfair advantage. I mean, he plays with kids every day, so
Yeah.
multiples at once.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so she's been laughing, which is great. She's been trying to roll from back to belly, which is the
Oh
big
my
one,
gosh,
very
yeah.
exciting one. Because the moment she starts doing that all the time, I'm gonna put her in a crib and let her fall asleep that way because that was
Mhm.
life changing when Abel started sleeping on his stomach. He slept through the night like almost every time after
Wow.
that. Oh, it was
Ooh.
great. Yeah.
The big one. And she's early.
I
We're
feel
talking
like she's early
ranges.
too, and it's
Yeah.
so confusing because she hated tummy time. I don't know. She hated tummy time. I don't know where she got any of this from. Like all of a sudden she's just like, you know what I want to do? I want to roll.
I want to
I'm
roll.
just
She's
like,
doing it on her own. You're not making her. So we already know what kind of woman she's going to be. She's
yeah,
like, I'm strong, independent. I do it on my own accord. Thank you.
following in her mom's footsteps.
Exactly. That's exciting, though. That's huge. That's a big one.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
so it's very exciting. I don't even know what else she's done because I was so excited about those two things. Oh, she's doing her bottle now. Abel was able to help give her a bottle. Adam's been giving her a
oh,
bottle. So it has been fantastic. It makes me feel so much better about her being able to leave, or for me to be able to leave the house without her.
yeah.
I'm just, yeah, she's been great. She's my little cutie. Makes me happy.
Yeah. How much is she eating now?
I have no idea because most of the time she's still eating from the boob, but at night she does a 5 ounce bottle before bed.
Oh my
So
gosh, five
yeah, big
ounces.
old bottle.
When did she grow up? They're both.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My God.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's exciting.
it's very exciting. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about you?
Big changes too. Naya's actually laughing too. I just heard it for the first time. Nick has heard it before, but I had heard it for the first time when we were giving her a bath, and I teared up. It's just like the
Aw.
best noise in the world. I love it so much. So I'm right there with you on that. Um, Big change for Naya is we transitioned to sleep sack finally. So
Yes.
she has been hating being swaddled lately. So we started slowly transitioning and did the whole like one arm out and then both arms out. We were only doing that during nap, but we were still swaddling her at nighttime. But when we were swaddling her, she was like it like hurt my heart. She literally was like fighting and let my arms out. She was pissed. So
Mhm.
then we noticed her swaddle was also getting a little bit too small. And I was like, I'm not buying more swaddles for you to be rolling soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're like $30. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So we transitioned to her sleep sack last night, and her sleep was exactly the same. She has been consistently waking up between 3 and 4 for like one feed. So she did that, and she slept through the night pretty much, besides that one little wake, and woke up and just stretched this morning. So that's a positive. I was
Yeah.
nervous Because people were telling
Yeah.
me like, "Oh no, it's the worst thing ever. Like you're gonna wake up every hour because that's what people love to do." But it was good. Yeah. So that's a big one.
Yay, I love that. I
Yeah.
love great sleep, to be
Yeah.
honest. And
Ugh.
if she can tolerate being in a sleep sack, like I think Abel wore a sleep sack till she was 2. So
Yeah.
like that's all you need to do. Sleep sack
Yeah.
and on her way. Just perfect sleep.
Yeah. She loved it. She just, I think it made her feel nice and cozy. So definitely that's a good positive because I was real nervous. What else? She's also eating more, but unsure. She like will be okay with a 4 ounce bottle, and then we'll give her 4 ounce like the next day, and then she's like screaming for like an ounce, another ounce and a half. But it's like what you said. I don't know if it's because maybe from the feed before she didn't get enough, like because it's just you don't know when you're breastfeeding. So I don't know.
Exactly.
What else? Oh, and then this one's not really a good one. It's a sad one. I am starting to have postpartum hair loss. So that has been really hard. I thought I got lucky because I had been like, nothing had been coming out. It'd been just like normal, minimal shedding. And then the last time I washed my hair, it literally was just like every time I touched my hair, it was just like coming out. The shower was like a horror movie because there was just hair everywhere, which I also hate wet hair in general. It was terrible. I hate wet hair. It's so disgusting. Like, have you ever like cleaned up your sink and I hate it so much.
That's funny. I just think of like walking around the pool and like little hairs being at the
That
pool.
is my word. I literally, I'm overstimulated thinking about it right now. It's terrible. It is terrible. So, and yeah, my husband's favorite thing to do is to leave his hair all over the place, and that's just a whole other story. But so that's been sad, and I literally like I prepared. Like I was like, I know it's hormonal based, but I'm
Mm,
gonna like take all my vitamins just to prevent there being like an also a deficiency of vitamins, of like D and all the good things.
yeah.
I don't know if it worked. I don't know if maybe I would have lost more if I didn't take vitamins. I also did my placenta, all the
Hmm.
things, and it is falling out. So, for those who don't know, I usually have really big curly hair. My hair will not be big and curly until that is done. It'll be in twist, so I don't have to like manipulate it. And so, probably for another 3 months, we'll
Yep.
see.
Yeah. I haven't had any hair loss yet, but my hair loss is completely different because I have locks, obviously.
Mhm.
With Abel, I had like full locks come out. So I
Just
have
like out
actually
of your head.
I still tuck them in. This, if you're on video, this is an Able lock. It's grown
Oh,
back this much since
no.
I had Able. So I legit have locks that just completely fall out. Hoping that that doesn't happen this time because as you see, it takes 2.5 years for it to even grow back a few inches.
So tell me, like, were you just like putting your hair up and one just came out? Or like, how did
Most
that?
of the time, it would just like I'd just see it on the ground. I'd be like, oh, cool. Yeah,
Abel was kind of disrespectful
I know,
postpartum.
right? And it feels so dramatic because it's like a lock and not just like a strand of hair.
Yeah, you're like your strands of hair. Okay, Jhshell. I imagine a whole several pieces of hair in a lock. Oh my god.
Exactly, but that's all right. I got a lot of hair, and hey, this is what we do. We're moms. We could do everything, including lose
Right.
hair.
Yeah. It's my hair. So I have a theory to hair loss though. I feel like it's definitely, we all know it's hormonal, but I have friends who said that they didn't lose their hair when they were younger. Like even Jaleisha, she didn't lose her hair, but she had Jaden young. And some of my other friends who had their
Mm,
babies younger. Versus when you're older and your hormones are like, they're just, they're very different than when you're like 20 to 25. So I have a theory that like when you have a baby a little bit older, you end up like
mm.
really experiencing that. That's my theory. I don't know.
I had a friend.
Anyone want to call me on that?
Yeah, I had a friend that had a baby, I think she was like 26-ish, and then had a baby when she was 30. I don't know if that age gap is big enough, but I mean, maybe. I'll ask her. I know that
Yeah.
she lost all her curly hair and it turned straight. Like
Yeah.
her, it used to be so curly, and now her hair is just like as straight as you'd never think she had curly hair
I
before.
heard that. I would
So
cry.
yeah, I'd be so sad too. She had beautiful curls. I mean, her hair is really nice now, but
Yeah.
she definitely had beautiful curls.
Yeah, I
Curls.
mean, it's just another thing of your body that's different. Just add on to the,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's fun. Well, I think that's it on my update. I mean, at the end of the day, Naya is amazing. So that's all that matters.
Exactly. Got great kids. All right, so today I think we're going to talk about dating your partner and or spouse and how that has changed or has not changed since birth. So I know that you guys had recently went on a date for your anniversary, I believe. How'd that
Mhm.
go?
I'm, first of all, jealous of anyone that it has not changed, but you know, it went well. It went good. I mean, there's obviously just so much prep that goes into going out on a date than it used to. It's bizarre. So, as you know, like our actual anniversary, we didn't go on like a date. We brought Naya with us because we didn't have anyone to watch her, and that is just life now. And then we, a couple weeks later, actually celebrated it. And my sister came. My sister drove all the way from Fort Lauderdale, which for everyone doesn't know, I'm in Tampa, so that is a good 4 hours, 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive.
Oh, what a
Just to,
great auntie.
right? Like, she deserves an award. I'm not gonna get you one, but she deserves one. Um I got you on Mother's Day. Um, but yeah, so 3.5, 4 hour drive, and she like spent the whole entire day. But it just was literally so much prep. Like I had to like text her the day before. I was like giving her like all of the, me being type A, all of the things of
Mhm.
like what she needs to do. And then like making sure that like she had enough milk, that she like, of course we have a lot of frozen milk, but then making sure that I was good with my pump. Like I had to bring my pump with me. It was just a lot, but it was great. We ended up having a whole entire day. We like went and got massages. We went to early dinner. And what else did we do? We went to the movies. And if you know me and Nick, you know that we are big movie people. And that's been so hard to like not be able to just go.
Right. Right.
Like, that's not a life to just be like, we used to literally be like, Friday, he would text me, like, this is out. Do you want to go to the movies? And we'd be like, yep, that's not a thing. It's like we need to prepare weeks in advance if we want to go to the movies.
Yeah, and movies are like one of those things where it's not like you could just bring your kid now. You can't bring
No.
a kid into a movie theater.
No. And like, oh, I just it's already stressful bringing them to a restaurant, let alone a movie. No way. Yeah,
Right.
it is a big change for sure.
Well, that is still very exciting because I don't think I have ever had a whole day with Adam, um, except when we went on vacation. Uh, oh wait, that was before he was born. It was your wedding. I guess your wedding was the only time that we've
Oh,
ever had like a full day without Abel.
yeah. Crazy. And it was hard. Like, is
Mhm.
it something that I would do a lot? Probably not, just because
Yeah.
I mean, I was still in full mom mode. Like, I had to bring my pumps. I had to make sure my pumps stayed cold. I had to like think about when I was going to drink my one drink so that by time it was time to pump, it was already like it is such a process. I enjoyed like every minute of just like some alone time, but then I was still my sister literally texted me was like, I got Naya, like enjoy your day. Because I literally was like, how is she doing? Did she go down for nap? You can't turn it off. I
Mhm.
turned it off before. I can't turn it off right now, or probably will be able to again. But yeah, it is night and day to how it used to be for sure.
Right. I don't think it's ever gonna go back to normal. I guess normal is the wrong word. I don't think it's ever gonna go back to what it was.
I agree.
Yeah.
How was it when you came here for the wedding? Because obviously you were in a completely different state. So how
Yeah.
were your just everything
I
preparing
mean,
for?
so it was much nicer because Abel was 18 months old and he was sleeping consistently through the night. So I didn't have to worry about any like him waking up and my parents not, getting him and or him, wandering around. I don't know,
Yeah.
like one of the like not baby proof the house, like stuff like
Yeah.
that I didn't have to worry about. So it was much more relaxing to leave
Mhm.
him than it would have been if I left him for a couple days when he was, 4 months old or so.
Mhm.
So it certainly it's different, because
Yeah.
you just make time to FaceTime your kid and make sure that they're comfortable and everything, and you're feeling good. But we had a great time when we left
Yeah.
him. We had a great time, obviously, because we were with you, but it was also really nice to be just Adam and Tempest for a minute, because
Mhm.
it was a long time before we were like actually Adam and Tempest without being mom and dad.
Yeah, it is. It truly is so hard. And even like our planning went around her in regard, like I still wanted to do bath time with her. I was like, I don't want to miss bath time and I don't want to put her down or I don't want to not put her down because she's so used to that. And obviously I love my sleep. So I didn't want to throw anything off. So like we had an early 5 p.m. dinner reservation so we could be home for bath and bedtime routines so she could still have some sense of like routine in her day.
Hmm.
And it's just it used to be like, oh, let's make a reservation. That was your planning. Or what am I gonna wear? That's a whole other thing. That was
Yeah.
also hard too. Like, what am I gonna wear? Because my body is different and postpartum. So that took extra planning too. But it was a good time. It's just very eye-opening. Granted, she's still so small, but
Right.
it's also a little bit harder because me and Nick, like, his family is about an hour away, but his like sister has 3 kids. Like they all kind of have their lives going, and then my mom doesn't live here, so the closest family to me is my sister. So like there is no like let's just go on a quick date. There is like full on planning, and we're not doing babysitters yet. So it's hard. It's hard getting back to that, but
It really is.
yeah.
Yeah. So another thing, I actually read an article about this, knowing that we were going to discuss this today. And I want to get it right, so I'm going to be reading a little bit. So bear with me. So the article is Decades of Studies Show What Happens to Marriages After Having Kids. It's on Fortune. And a couple of like the hot button stats and topics that it had talked about, the relationship satisfaction declines. So apparently, couples with children experience nearly twice the decline in relationship satisfaction compared to childless couples.
Hmm.
But funny enough, even though the satisfaction drops, divorce rates also decline. So even though parents are unhappier, they actually stay together, which I
Hmm.
think is funny. Not surprising if you ask most of our friends, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like a lot of them are like, my parents probably should have gotten divorced. I don't think
Yeah.
it's as big of an indication in our millennial generation, but I do think a
Hmm.
lot of our parents probably, you know, could have divorced.
Hmm.
But who knows?
Yeah.
And a couple other things. Um, there's a belief that having children improves a marriage, but obviously that is false. And also, couples shift from romantic lovers to business and co-parents. So they focus
Mm.
more on logistics over connection. And most of the household chores and everything fall on mothers to take care of the childcare, the mental load, and nightly duties. And so, with all of that, it ends up being a lot more difficult for women, well, not couples in general, but the women to, want to get all fancy and go out and date and feel comfortable enough to be romantic, because they have all the mental health struggles and mental load that they have to. So it was a really interesting article if you guys end up wanting to read it, but I would love to see if you have any thoughts on that. um Trisha.
A lot of thoughts. I'm excited about this one. Okay, so listen. First thing, divorce. When you said that, because I come from a family, my parents got married and divorced twice. Okay, and they did not stay married, so they got divorced literally
They just
twice.
wanted to try it again.
They
They're like,
wanted
you
to
know
try
what?
again,
We love
and
each
the
other. Let's
second
try it
time,
again.
literally, they were like, "Let's just." And the second divorce, me and my sister were literally like, thank you. Like, we understand you wanted to stay together, probably for us. I mean, for us, and we are like a prime example of that is they were like, trying to make it work for the kids. But we were like, please, it is time. Like, just
Yeah.
go your separate ways. And my family, like, actually, after my parents divorced and we went through like our healing and all of that, a couple years later, when my nephew was born, we started spending like holidays together, and they were way better divorced than they were together. So that's like I
Hmm.
feel like that makes sense to me of like divorce declining as you're trying to make it work for the kids. But for anyone out there doing that, probably not a good idea. And my other thought before I lose it out of my mom brain is the workload and the mental load. So then you're not like wanting to get all fancy. This was something that I was afraid of, like knowing that this is common. And so this was something I talked to Nick about ahead of time. Like I was like, because of I've seen it happen with my friends and like family, I refuse to be the only one putting in a load when we have a child. If you think that is a situation we are going to be in, we will not be having a child because I don't want to be like that mom. And that was a conversation we had ahead of time before we even thought about having Naya. And so we implement, like, we have to-do lists. Like, this is your night to do this. This is my night to do this because I refuse to be that person doing everything. And I think in turn, it just helps me not feel like everything is on me. So then when we do go on a date night, I'm not feeling like, oh, well, like I'm tired. Like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything at all because I do everything else. I'm
Hmm.
a mom, I'm a woman, so it is natural. I do carry more of the mental load, and I think that is just a part of it in general. But there was definitely a conversation we had where I was like, I'm not gonna be doing it all.
Right.
So I feel like that makes a lot of sense of like, if you are that person doing everything, you're not gonna want to go the extra mile to do anything else. You're
Yep.
doing 20 times things in your house. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. What do you think?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. The mental load is it's a hard conversation to have and I guess to understand too, because Adam's great. He does more chores than I think I have ever seen most men do in a house. Like me, I'm very messy, and so like my stuff will be on the floor. And it'll be picked up eventually. Like I'm messy, but I know it's my mess. And in shared spaces, my mess is not always there. But for him, everything is always very clean. His chore day is on Sunday. If anybody knows him, they're asking us what we're doing on Sunday. It's like it's chore day. It took me years to be like, this is okay. It's fine. It's chore. We don't have to go do something. Because everybody be like, why can't you go do this? I'm like, well, it's chore day. Doesn't that everybody have a chore day? Um,
Mhm.
the answer is no, but that's okay.
In this
We
world, it's you.
do. And yeah, and my house is very clean most of the time, and I think has a lot to do with the fact that we have implemented a chore day that stays even like through the first week of postpartum. Adam's like, it's
Mhm.
Sunday, it's chore day, let me get this done. And so like that part is so nice. That I don't have to be like, why aren't the dishes clean? Or why isn't the laundry done? Like he does Abel's laundry. Like I don't
Mm.
even do it. So and now we actually have a laundry chute in this house. So I just put everything down the laundry chute and then magically it ends up in a basket clean and I fold it. So
Wait, that makes me think of a movie. You know what movie I'm thinking of? The Laundry
it's
Chute.
Matilda.
Is it Matilda?
I feel like they use a laundry chute in Matilda
Thought it
when they're
was
in Miss
the.
Trunchbull's house.
Maybe it is. I thought it was the one girl. She just passed away. R.I.P.
Oh, Harriet
Michelle's
the Spy.
movie. Yes, isn't she in a laundry chute? And she like hides.
I think so. Maybe
Okay,
I'm
besides
thinking
the
both of
point.
them. Who
Anyway.
knows? Um, but yeah, either way, I was really excited. We have a laundry chute too.
That's
Abel uses it, and we're always just like, "What's the first um, non-clothing item that's gonna go down the laundry chute?" Nothing yet. He hasn't put anything but clothes down there, but it's gonna happen
a
for
poopy
sure.
diaper or something. God forbid.
Better not be any more diapers. We're potty
Oh
training.
yeah, I forgot.
He knows where the trash can is. Um, anyway, sorry, very off subject. But with all that said, Adam does a lot of the mental load that he can do. There obviously is just so much stuff that with it comes to being a mom that I don't even know how to pass off that mental load, like
Mm,
where it'd be like, for breastfeeding or like pump parts, that kind of stuff. Where I'm like, it would be nice if you could, clean all the pump parts, but I'll also like if they're in the wrong place, I'm gonna be mad. So like, let me just do it.
yeah.
um, so all that to say, the mental load aspect is not as bad as I thought it would be. But I still am like so exhausted at the end of the day that it is so hard to be like, and now I feel sexy. Let's go do some things,
Mm,
and that part makes it so hard that I'm just like, it's not like I don't want to go do it. I just really am tired. It's like it's the
mhm,
moment that like no one's touching me anymore that I don't want to be touched now.
mhm.
And it
Yeah.
just it's like sucks that I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just need to get out of that mindset. But it is like so hard for me to go from being touched all day to then
Yeah.
the moment I'm not to want to be touched again.
No, yeah, I agree. It is hard. And just in general, your hormones are already crazy and libidos are off and all of that. And then on top of it, you're tired and your brain, my brain's just always going. Now
Right.
it's going 10 times because I'm working and then like in between work and yeah. So like at the end of the day, when I take the shower is like my like Zen moment when I get out of the shower. And like usually when you get out of the shower, it's like, okay, no. I'm like, pajamas on,
You're like,
cozy. Good
okay,
night,
comfy
honey. I
robe,
love
popcorn.
you. Literally, I'm like, bye, girly. I'm going to bed. Like, I love you, but
Yeah.
it's hard. It really is. But me and Nick said that because of our jobs, like we have great time off plans. So one of our
Mhm.
plans is once a month, like we would just take a day to just be with us. Like, especially once Naya is in
Yeah.
daycare, or I mean, she's going to have a nanny for a couple months, but whenever, just take a day where it's just us and we're just focused on us. And again, we're still going to prepare for all of that, but making sure that we keep that. So we are still like trying to make sure we have that connection because it makes sense from that article, like how it becomes about logistics and co-parenting because all you're thinking about is the well-being of your child. And I
Mhm.
think it's really easy to forget about the well-being of your partner. And
Right.
I think it's really important. It's just an important thing that I think we've tried to like talk about and we're going to try to implement as much as we can. I mean, obviously life gets in the way, but I mean, the article makes sense for all of that.
Yeah, that's also a great idea. I love that. Adam has terrible time off, but he does have full summers off because he's a teacher. So maybe we'll implement something like that too. That sounds
Do
really.
you guys
And
have
then
summer plans? Sorry.
oh no, summer plans. He's gonna be doing the bulk of Sequoia because I have to go back to work. So even though I
Mm,
work from home, it's still gonna be a little difficult for me to have a lot of time off,
yep.
um, to do that. But who knows? Maybe we'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the thought of being co-parent, business-like co-parents, when we do get out on dates, I end up talking about my children so much
Mhm.
that I'm
Yep.
like, I used to be super cool. We're a big gossip couple. I don't know if you guys are, but like, we will talk shit about everyone. Like, every single one of my friends, I love you dearly, but me and Adam will talk shit about everybody.
Listen, being at you guys' house for Abel's birthday, I was sipping my tea. I was like, "Ooh, this tea is hot, honey. This is
My
nice."
sister came and she's like, gosh, you guys gossip a lot.
I was like, "This is like watching a show." Turn off Love Is Blind. I don't need it. Let's watch Tempestt and Adam.
And it's actually one of my favorite things about Adam in his group, his friend group is like he's like we're not interesting. We have no drama. And man, if I could drop the tea on his friends, if anything, that friend group has so much drama. They should have a TV show. Like
So fun.
it's so great. It makes me, but all that to say is that since I don't go out as much, I don't have as much gossip to talk about. And so it's like you have
Mm,
to like talk about our political state. And I don't really want to do that because that's depressing.
Depressing.
And then so I'm just like, so let's talk about our kids and how great they are. Yeah. So date night has changed a little bit. I'm hoping once they get a little older, though, that we can certainly figure out how to get back to like how we used to be, where it would be less kid talk on dates and more like, what our interests are, and
Mhm.
not talking about the crossword that I did overnight, because that's what I do when she's breastfeeding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the talking about your kid. They talk about that in movies. Like, oh, like the mom always, it's true. Because like the whole entire time I was like, Nick, what do you think Naya's doing? He's like sleeping or eating or pooping. Like she's okay. And I'm like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, do you think she's okay? He's like, she is fine. So that is true. Like, and Nick also, Nick's my bestie. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry. If y'all tell me not to tell nobody, I'm probably telling my husband.
Yeah,
But
it does not count for spouses. Even if you say don't tell me, don't tell, I'm gonna tell him. Like, excuse me.
so I agree with you. Like just getting out to just gossip is
Yeah,
just I want to, get back to that. I mean, I still be in the conversation, but
right.
I miss how we were, in post college era.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to move on to our unsolicited advice section. Once again, from the Reddit New Parents group. And it's called Tips on Deciding Between Daycares. Context: my wife is 24 weeks, pregnant with our first child. We live in DC and we started touring different daycares. We toured and looked up several places so far, and they each have pros and cons. For example, pick-up and drop-off hours, whether they provide food, whether they're within walking or driving distance, and of course things like cost, child/caregiver ratio, neighborhood, policy, experience, etc. Since we are our first-time parents, we were struggling with which one of these factors make the biggest differences and how to qualify them. As for example, daycare A costs more than daycare B, B provides food as where A doesn't, and it's not open as early as daycare A. But they are in a worse part of the city. We liked our tour of A better, and we felt more comfortable with A's communication preparedness. Are those factors worth an extra $150 per month, even with a smaller pickup drop off window and providing all the food? More generally, when we are deciding on a daycare, which aspects ultimately matter the most to you? Which did you think mattered a lot but didn't matter as much in the end, making a bigger difference in either direction? Thank you.
So like broken down wise, just for like a better picture, A closes earlier
Mhm.
and picks up earlier, and they do not provide food, but they have better communication and they're $150 more.
That's what it looks like. Yep.
Okay. And B's in the worst city, provides food, but doesn't have the best communication.
hmm
Whew, that was hard. Neither.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Neither would be my thought too, because
Yeah.
I don't want to provide food. I am not that mom. I grew up where my parents handed me a $5 bill and said, "Go get lunch at school. We're not cooking you lunch." And I, I'm the same way. I'm not gonna cook you lunch every day. You get it at school. Get a hot lunch. Um,
Mhm.
so that part for me would be, that's immediately no. I'm not providing the food.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I agree. I was also my dad would leave money on the counter on his way out for work, and we were not bring your, lunch to school people. Um, that and the drop off time frame, I think is a big deal too, because I feel like a lot of the times the drop off times and the pickup times are at the worst time. So then when you do need to drop them off earlier, you are paying an extra 75 or whatever amount. So I feel like that's actually a big one, because most of the time it's like 8 a.m., which is usually the work time where you need to do that. So, I mean, neither of them sound great to me. But also B doesn't sound great, even though they have like the drop off and pickup times. I would struggle with I need to know that you're going to communicate with me. So that alone would mark you off the list. I understand like not every daycare has cameras and things like that, but I need you and I need to feel comfortable with like how you're going to tell me how my child is like doing. Rather that's through an app, rather that's me being able to text you. So I need to feel comfortable with that. So if I don't feel comfortable with your communication, you're off the list for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think agreed. Neither of them sound good to me. I would 100% say get a daycare that's close to your home, not close to
Mm-hmm.
your work. Because that is, on days that you maybe you don't have to go in and you still want to drop them off, that would be very annoying having to drop them off all the way over by your work. And then on top of that, if they don't have good communication, I'm not leaving my kid there. That's not
Mm-hmm.
happening. I moved from one daycare that sent me pictures all day to a daycare that sent me a picture during the last day of the week, one picture normally. And that was really hard for me. Like, I was like, it's probably a little bit of anxiety thinking I need pictures all day, every day. So, like, that's okay to not have the pictures, but they still send me information every day on how
Mm-hmm.
you're doing. So, I think that that is super important and being able to trust that they are good. And
Yeah.
also, if it's in a bad neighborhood, I'm not leaving my kid there.
Yeah.
So
And
that
you're not
part
going
was
to
interesting
take
too to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not for $150 at least.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do something else with that. I'll find a way to save that money elsewhere. Like
Yeah.
that's
Worth
not gonna come at the expense of my kid being in a worse neighborhood if I have the option.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think, daycares are so hard to figure out exactly what you're looking for. But I do think ratios are really important
Mm-hmm.
at younger ages because especially if they're under one, they can't talk. You need to make sure that people are there that can make sure they're watching and cleaning your child appropriately, changing their diaper, feeding them on time. If they're overwhelmed, they might not be able to get to your child's needs as quickly. So I think ratio might be like top of the list, and then
Mm-hmm.
eating them there, diapering them. I like that too. Both mine had food and diapers, so you didn't have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about diapers. I feel like I could give or take. I could bring diapers. Um, so yeah, for me, I think none. No, none of those options. Keep looking. You're in
Yeah.
DC.
I agree. I'm big on the location. Ours is 5 minutes away. And we had a lot of people like give us options and they were like 25, 30 minutes away, but they had cameras. So that was the thing. I really wanted cameras, but I was like, I'm not driving 25 to 30 minutes for cameras. And they were a little bit cheaper, but it was
Are the
definitely that
cameras are the cameras like live? Like you can see in the
live
cloud?
live. And that was
Oh,
big. That was like a
I
big
don't know if
thing.
I'd want that. I'd be watching that like a TV show.
One of my friends said that. She was like, I watch like it's insane. She,
Hmm.
she was like, I just am constantly watching it. It's actually unhealthy.
Yeah.
And so that was a big, I thought I really wanted that. And then I was like, okay, 30 minutes away, but you have a live feed, which is nice, but is it just going to increase my anxiety? And then
Hmm.
ours now is 5 minutes away. They don't have live cameras, but they send like a million pictures a day, which I've talked to a lot of people and they're very good with that. And I need that.
Hmm.
Do I need that? Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Anxiety
I
feeding it.
hey, I loved
Hate
it.
it.
It's
Yeah.
one of the things I hate about our current daycare
Yes.
that we don't get a
I
bunch of pictures. But
Yeah, I need
we
that
do.
and I need to know what they're doing. And then I also would say like really paying attention to those tours, like what they're doing. We went on our tour for hours and the owner was very big on we change a diaper every 2 hours, no matter what. So make sure you have enough diapers, which ours doesn't give diapers, but that's okay. Um, every 2 hours, they had a chart of it. I watched one of the caregivers, like she was marking everything on the chart. She had a chart of the bottles, like really taking in your tour of like all of the small details because I want to make sure you're giving my milk and not someone else's milk and you're changing her diaper and all of those things. All of that matters. So yeah, I would say none. None of them sound great to me. But
Right.
like you said, you're in DC, so there has to be other options there
Yeah,
for sure,
let's
but
hope.
maybe they're more expensive.
And they're 24 weeks pregnant. They got time.
You got time. And that
Yeah.
I'll say that I'll chime in on that is that people freaked me out. Everyone was like, you must get on a wait list. Like,
Yeah.
your kid's not going to be able to do it. We were fine. Like,
Right.
don't let people freak you out more than you are already stressed out. We were fine. And
Yeah.
we put our daughter on the wait list literally in January. Our daughter was due in January, and that's when she went on the wait, like on her, not even the wait list. That's when we held her position.
Mhm.
So everyone just take a breather and just find one that you like and don't feel rushed into making your decision because it's a big decision.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's our unsolicited advice
Yep.
for these people.
These people that we don't know, but I hope you listen because we.
Exactly.
All right. So that is the end of our episode today. So thank you for listening. And next week, we're going to be diving into TV moms and how they basically lied to us and didn't prepare us at all for motherhood. So that's an exciting one. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and most definitely our YouTube channel.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us on Two Moms, Too Much Coffee. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to leave us a review.